What's good, guys? Will Mansworth back. Finally. It's been a long time. Been at least a month, but I'm back on the YouTube grind. I'm ready to blow this thing up and bring you guys some dope content, some personable content. So today's video, as you can see, it's about my transition from athlete to bodybuilder and everything in between. So this should be a cool one. I know a lot of you guys are curious about my transition, how I got into bodybuilding and whatnot, so cool opportunity for you to listen to my story. Quick background into my life before any lifting. So I got into lifting about 7th grade, so pre-7th grade it was all baseball, basketball, football, just basically getting active, playing as much sports as I could. I stopped baseball going into middle school, so in 7th and 8th grade it was pretty much just down to basketball and football. I kind of wanted to focus on two to really get elite at both of them. So that's where I first started to get into football style lifting, because I saw all these NFL athletes that are just jacked, huge, just absolute freaks, and so I kind of wanted to explore that path and kind of start getting strong for my high school football days. So when I first started to lift in about 7th or 8th grade, it was just personally me and my dad. Started everything with literally no weight. Like my first time squatting, I was just using the wooden bar and I couldn't really find the balance, so I couldn't go past 90 degrees, and I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm never squatting again, this sucks, oh my god. But I mean, obviously that wasn't true. But I just, I guess I'm pretty grateful that I had someone to show me the right way to learn to lift, instead of just going in there and throwing weights up and possibly hurting yourself. I was in there, starting the right way, learning the form, kind of building that base, building that foundation to become a better lifter. Moving on to high school. So beginning of high school is kind of when I started getting, I guess, shown the powerlifting and the Olympic style lifts, because I was just getting into a high school football, and that's where like everyone squats, benches, deadlifts, whatnot. We never did straight bar deadlift. We always did trap bar deadlift. So like people sometimes ask me if I've ever deadlifted. I've only really done trap bar deadlift, so that kind of answers that question. But anyways, so for my freshman and sophomore year, I was just kind of learning the ropes. Or actually that was mainly just my freshman year. I was just kind of just learning the ropes. And then going into my sophomore year, I was only 150 pounds and I knew I needed to gain some weight. So I started to really up my nutrition, really take lifting a lot more seriously, and that's kind of where my lifting took off. I just kind of got addicted to making gains, got addicted to getting strong. I felt like I was getting stronger like by the week, which, I mean, you really are kind of with the quote-unquote noob gains. It's kind of crazy how that works. But, and I always tell people who are starting out, like, just give it a month. Give it 1 month, and you'll start seeing results, and you'll get addicted, because that's really all it takes. The people who don't stick with it, I feel like, are the people who only give it like a week or something. But that's when I started taking it seriously, sophomore year of high school. And then moving into a junior year and senior year, I just kind of continued. My passion just grew greater. I started lifting before basketball practice. I lifted all spring. I was at the gym pretty much 7 days a week, with my brother, with my dad, just getting after it. It was almost at that point like football, then lifting, then basketball. I was just so into it. I was so into getting strong and getting bigger, but I wasn't necessarily doing it for the aesthetics at the time. I was doing it purely for sport. I was doing it like to get stronger and what I thought was getting more explosive. My junior and senior year, that was when I kind of started to explore on social media just different lifting influencers, guys that were kind of ahead of like today. So like the OGs, Mike O'Hearn, Mike Rashid, CT Fletcher, Big Rob, all those guys that worked out with CT Fletcher, and Bradley Martin, Jeff Side, guys of that nature, kind of started getting me interested in the aesthetic bodybuilding side of lifting, side that I hadn't really explored yet. So I kind of started to add smaller bodybuilding style lifts, and I called them like accessory movements. So I would just, I mean, like on bench days, I would always start off with a heavy compound movement, still focused obviously on football and stuff like that in high school, but also adding things like tricep push downs or lateral raises, not a whole bunch of it, but stuff to just like fine tune the accessory muscles and things of that nature. So when I moved into college football, that was when I was like peak into powerlifting, because I really just wanted to kind of establish myself as a really strong dude on the team and a hard worker and whatnot. So I eventually got to 355 bench and 465 squat. Those are at about 190 pounds, and that was kind of my peak. I was still super into it. When I was at college, I would lift. When I wasn't lifting with the team, I'd lift with football buddies. I would essentially always be at the lifting center when I wasn't with the team. I was just addicted to it. I wanted to get strong as hell, and that was just kind of the end all be all. I wanted to get strong. I wanted to be good at football. So when I stopped playing football, I did continue the powerlifting phase for probably another 6 months to a year. I was still really strong. So the transition kind of began after my college football, about a year before I started this account. I've been having this account for like 2 years now. So like I said earlier, other accounts started kind of getting sick of the constant toll of lifting heavy almost every single workout, especially heavy squats. Pretty much whenever I did a leg day, it would just, I mean, for people that know, you do like an actual like heavy squat workout, like 4 sets of 2, like actual 2 rep max, like you probably just want to be done, like you're just done. So I started to slowly wean the powerlifting side of things out, got more into the bodybuilding aesthetic side of things, and started to enjoy that. Honestly, probably a little bit more because I had reached such a high point in my strength versus my body weight. I think it was almost like a new challenge for me to kind of see how lean I could get, how sculpted I could get, given I was 199 pounds at my peak. So it was just kind of a new goal for me to see how far I could take this thing, and then coming to realize that bodybuilding is something that you can do the rest of your life if you do it right. So I wanted to be in this for the long haul. I didn't want to get hurt. I've never had a serious injury lifting. I credit that a lot to my great form, but I mean, you never know. If you're dealing with insanely heavy weight, one minuscule mess up can really screw you up. So I just didn't really want to deal with that, and I kind of wanted to like look better than I looked. I wasn't upset with how I looked, but I started seeing all these bodybuilders and I was like, holy crap, these guys' proportions are crazy. Their like their shoulders, their chests, their biceps, like their back. I didn't really have any development much in any of those areas besides probably my shoulders. So I really wanted to kind of head down that road and see how far it would take me, and it led to me starting this account, and it's brought me a lot of really cool things and kind of shown me a whole nother side of fitness that I didn't really know was there, and a whole side that you can create a living off of and meet cool new people, discover new products and all that. So that's kind of my transition. I know it was mostly about like the sports side, not the lifting side, but in reality, in terms of my whole life and my lifting career, I'm still relatively new to the whole bodybuilding thing. I'm only about 2 years into bodybuilding. The previous 8 years were all powerlifting and sport related. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Quick shirt switch up. I'm currently hitting shoulders right now between sets. But I am going to be bringing you guys more and more YouTube in the near future. A combination of talks like these, not always from just a boring office location. I'm thinking about doing a walk and talk series where I like walk through the woods and show you guys some cool nature stuff, but at the same time kind of give you my simple approach to how to work certain muscle groups and certain fitness topics that are pretty popular to talk about and whatnot. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the video. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening. Catch you soon. Peace.